Hello everybody. So if you're a watcher of my channel, you already know that for 3 months I'm actually in another town. So I had to sort of move my life a little bit for 3 months, and my husband has to travel back and forth to, be able to maintain some kind of sense of normalcy. Since my place of residence changed for this short period of time, relatively short period of time, I now have packed a batch of makeup that should keep it exciting enough for me for 3 months for me to be able to use products and still play with makeup and have everything that I would want to have in terms of makeup with me. And it's a mix of conventional beauty and green beauty. I want to walk you through what exactly it is that I took with me and what kind of color stories and things that I wanted to play with in terms of texture. Let's get a move on it. Let's start with primers. My first primer is Nude by Nature Perfecting Primer, and I'm almost out, so my goal is to finish that off. That's a clean product, or relatively clean I should say. I quite enjoy it. I think it's a good product. It is akin to a variety of slightly moisturizing bases that just kind of prep your skin up but don't smooth particularly or eliminate or do anything except for just leave the feeling of being a bit prepped. So I would say slightly hydrating, similar to the Hangover Primer from Too Faced. So if you enjoy that, could be a good replacement if you're looking to replace with a green product. Then we have another mini that I'm kind of planning to get through. This is Laura Mercier Foundation Primer Radiance. I've never used it, so we'll see how it goes. And my thought process is I live in Canada while the weather is still really, really cold and we have snow outside. I may as well try to utilize my radiance boosting products as much as possible. That was some kind of perk at some point. I want to try it out. I've never tried out this particular primer from Laura Mercier, so I'm quite curious. And then the last thing that I have here for primers, those two tiny ones are probably going to be gone pretty soon. And I'm going to focus solely on this one, which I love. And this is a very clean, beautiful formulation. Obviously, because it's clean, it expires quicker, so I wanted to focus on that. It should go bad in September of this year, so I want to use it up before that. And this is Hint Beauty Day Prep Defense Primer. They can't market it as having an SPF in Canada, but it does. It has SPF 25. And it's a very, very nice, very clean formula. Sits wonderfully under makeup, reasonably moisturizing, a little bit smoothing, but not pore filling necessarily. And this texture I find works really well under basically any makeup I can put on, which is a big plus for me. This is almost full. It is a pump product, so I have the whole thing to get through. And by the way, although this is pricey, I think about 60 bucks Canadian, it is 50 milliliters. So I mean, price it out, see what you think in terms of primer slash moisturizer slash SPF product. Priming eyelids. I have one thing here, and this is Put a Lid on It by The Balm. It's a good primer. I don't see much of a difference between this, the Lorac one, and the Urban Decay one. They kind of work the same for me. It's transparent and it does prolong the wear of my eyeshadows, so no qualms about it, but it's not like the best thing since sliced bread or anything. In terms of my foundation, I only brought one, and this is Laura Mercier Silk Cream Oil-Free Photo Edition Foundation. It's basically her silk cream formula, which has been reformulated some years ago, and it's still just as good. My color is Rose Ivory, and this is in my project pan. There's not that much left in it, so I don't anticipate it lasting forever, but I use a very surprisingly small amount of foundation when I do my makeup in the morning, so this could probably last me actually a while, but you can tell that I've been really using this product a lot. In terms of powders, I only have two that I brought with me, and one of them is so small that it is disappearingly small. This is Youngblood High Def Powder in Translucent, and this is a tiny sample, and I wanted to take the sample because it's just so small and convenient, but I actually have a full size of this. This reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever Micronized Setting Powder. It's kind of a similar texture, very lightweight, can give you a little bit of a white cast unless you buff it in. I probably prefer the Rice Finishing Powder just a little bit more, but this powder is good, and I do want to get a little bit of use out of that mini before it's completely out. And the other one that I have is a colored powder. This is Nude by Nature Flawless Pressed Powder Foundation. I wanted a powder foundation just in case. in the color N2 Classic Beige. This is slightest bit too dark for me, but it is beige, leaning slightly warm. This works, and it is a good powder. It's quite creamy to the touch, and it buffs into skin, kind of disappears and looks really quite flawless. So the texture of the powder I like, and I'm going to continue using it. I did enjoy it, and I did think it was a good product. I have 2 liquid illuminators, and holy crap, I don't know why, but I've just been really into liquid illuminators. First one is the Cover FX. This is an oddball product, so not something I normally would pick up, but I was super curious about it, so I own it now. Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the color Halo. I have their color enhancer drops that like the hardcore highlight one. This is a soft blue tinted glow. I like mixing it with a primer. Currently, I'm sort of combining these two as a glowy primer, and it does create a little bit of a blue sheen on the skin, which I think can be a little bit correcting if you have sallow skin. Those blue, slightly purpley undertones, you know, if you have sallow skin, you apply blue purple products, lightly tinted. If you have red skin, you apply yellow base products that are, or green base products that are slightly tinted. Anyway, this mixed with a primer gives a very interesting and cool effect. I do also like to dab it slightly on my lids as a no makeup naked skin look, and that looks really beautiful. But there's certainly ways to wear it, but this is not so foolproof that you can just sort of pile it up on your cheeks. That can look a little odd because it is definitely blue toned reflect, but I think in small quantities it can be quite brightening and lift your skin a little bit. So I've been enjoying it. I'm not sure if I'll keep it long term, but for now I really like it. Another thing that I brought with me is a newly opened, just freshly cracked Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Moonstone. I've discovered it thanks to Lisa Eldridge, as probably a lot of us did. This is a pump. I've used up a half size of it, so it was a smaller size, but still hefty. You don't need a lot to make an impact. And it's a very soft, very natural looking highlight that still carries an impact and makes your skin look quite dewy. You can mix it into things. You can use it as a liquid highlighter just on your cheeks or wherever you want. This is a very functional multitask product, but you need such a small amount, or I need such a small amount, that I feel like they'll bury me with it and I'll still have some left over. So it's certainly good value for money, I think, if you do like liquid illuminators. Certainly Becca line is something to check out. In terms of powder illuminators, I have 2, and these are really good. I had 3, but I got rid of one. In my project pan, I did mention that I was trying to pan it, and I really put an effort into using it, but I realized I just don't like it on my skin tone, and that was the Chanel Plissé Lumière Illuminator. It was a beige gelée consistency, so I thought, score, excellent, I love it. I didn't love it. It didn't really work out. It had a definite beige color to it, which looked dark on my cheeks. It just didn't work in terms of color. The texture was a bit not as smooth as I would like for it to be, meaning that if I swatch it with my finger and do like a concentrated swatch on my hand, it would be very impressive. But on the cheeks, it sheared out to something a little bit too texture highlighting. It really emphasized any kind of unevenness at all on my skin, and I have good skin. So for me to be unhappy with the way a highlighter looks in that regard, it was just a no-brainer. It's a goner. So I dug through my collection and pulled these 2, and I've been super happy with both, and I don't feel the same way like I want to get rid of it or I have to make it work somehow about these guys. The first one is Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in 002. It is a very beautiful, slightly pink, slightly beige gelée formula highlighter, and this one I really like. I think it's super flattering on my skin tone, and they do have a variety of skin tones that they do cover in that range. The compact is gorgeous. Everything about it is yum. It's awesome. And another texture that is totally different from that beige gelée texture, this is definitely a powder texture, is Becca Shimmer and Skin Perfector Pressed in Champagne Pop. I am loving this, and I would imagine that that would not work for me on my skin tone, but you can really make it work on probably any skin tone, which I was surprised about. I do know that I like Moonstone in the pressed formula, and I've finished up one of those before. Same beautiful creamy texture, really lays well on skin, wears like a dream. Love it. So probably this one I'm not sure if I would repurchase. I can probably find something that looks similar. This formula is unparalleled. Both highlighters are just really good. I'm very happy with them right now. In terms of bronzer, I have again two, a cream option and a powder option. The cream option is Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Contour in 01 Curvy Contour. It can be difficult to find a cream bronzer that is perfect for your skin tone. I have a light, or fair, I should say, neutral to cool complexion. If you have the same complexion, do check out the Chubby Stick from Clinique. It is a good color for my skin tone. I think it would work well on almost any skin tone because it does have a little bit of a red olive undertone. It's interesting. It's an interesting color. I think very flattering color for my skin tone. Leave down below if you have a different skin tone if it works for you or not, because I'd be curious to know. And obviously there's no way for me to really know unless you guys tell me. Those of you who are on the warmer spectrum or darker skin tones, let me know if this still works for you, because I think the formula is really good. And the color seems quite universal, but I can't vouch for it, obviously. Experience of one woman here. Then we have Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Bronzed Bondi. Again, I have the same to say about the bronzer as I do about the highlighter. They came in a little tri-duo, and I'm ecstatic about the texture of it, the color of it. The color of it is kind of similar to the Bio Bronzer in 01 from Well People. So I'll swatch them and wear them in and see which one I really truly prefer more. But this texture is just, it's really good. It blends wonderfully. It wears so well. It's a joy to use. So I would consider purchasing this in full size in the future. The color is great. The texture is great. It looks like skin when applied, even though it is a powder product, and on my dry skin, powder product can look like a lot of product. This one doesn't. This one just melds in with your skin. It's very pretty. I love it. In terms of concealers, I brought two. One is clean and one is just conventional. This is Benefit Boing Hydrating Concealer in the color 01. And this is a very small sample of their little stick with a moisturizing outer rim. Concealer, it's fine. It's moisturizing. That's why I took it with me. I think I can probably knock it out pretty quickly. I wouldn't repurchase that one. And the other one is the Burt's Bees Concealer Corrector. My color is fair. The color is so-so on me. It's yellow. However, more importantly, I'm not loving the formula so far. I've just started using this, and I have some more Burt's Bees products. I've kind of gotten them for a review, and I was curious about new additions to the lineup. This one I didn't like so much. I found that I had to have oil underneath of this product to make it actually blend into skin nicely. So this is questionable. I haven't formed my complete opinion quite yet. I'm still sort of wearing it in, living with it, testing it out with a variety of different products underneath and over top of it. But so far, this has not been super impressive, unfortunately. Goodness. Blush. For blush, I have 4 separate things, and 2 of them are cream and 2 of them are powder. Let's talk about the creams first. And I'll put the Burt's Bees sticks that I'm testing out in sort of a category of their own. But I guess some of them could be bronzer, some could be blush, stuff like that. So we have 2 truly blush products that are creams. First of all, the Stila Sunrise Splendor Convertible Dual Lip and Cheek Palette. And I sort of shopped my stash for it because that was an easy palette to take because it's fairly slim and sleek, and the packaging I like. But it has this variety of colors, anywhere from wintry, dusty red, rose, / terracotta, to like brighter pinks, baby pinks, and neutrals. This has anything I would ever want. I don't like this on lips. It only works on cheeks for me because the texture is frankly much more suited for cheek wear rather than lip wear. And the other one we have here is the Nude Stick Intense Matte Lip and Cheek Pencil. Again, in my project pan, I don't have a lot left. And this color is Belle. This is a nice rosy brown, very nice and neutral cheek, sort of splash and go sort of thing. It's nicely matte. It does apply well and wear well on cheeks. I really enjoy it. It does apply well to lips. It's a bit drying on lips with time, but any matte product to me is drying rather than moisturizing. So it's a really, really good product. I enjoy it a lot. I wish they were cleaner. Then I would be buying those sticks by a bucket full, but they're not clean. So I may or may not support them in the future. It's an indie brand, which I do enjoy. Then two of the powder products. This one I'm trying to live with and trying to see if I like it. So I shopped my stash for it to see if that is something I should even be keeping. And this is Rosy Glow in 001 Petal. This is this like Porky Pig pink cheek color. Today it's on me. I'm not so sure that it looks fantastic on me. I'm trying to wear it in different ways with different looks, trying to see if I can find a way for myself to enjoy it. So far, it's been okay, but if I don't find a way that I love wearing it, that I just can't wait to wear it, honestly, this will go. I'll probably declutter it because I remember this being much more exciting than it is now. Maybe I just acquired more cheek products and I'm more impressed with other things. But I mean, like, it's a pretty pink flush, but I'm not sure that these very bright pinks are my look any longer. I think I'm probably kind of done with that, maybe. But we'll see. I'll wear it in. After 3 months, I'll have a really good idea of whether I should be even keeping this product around or not. And the other blush I was going to mention is this Guerlain Meteorites blush. Meteorites Perle de Blush. Éclat angélique, so angelic radiance. This is the color that is a bit more up my alley. I don't like the packaging. I think the packaging is unfortunate. It's cardboard, and from Guerlain, I just expect much more. I may transfer the little pearls to a different package, a different box, because I'm just annoyed. This is grubby, and I don't like grubby. I like beautiful and touchable and stuff that doesn't get dirty immediately. But the product is really nice, but I'm just a little bit put off by the packaging. I think it looks prettier on camera, but it feels very, very cheap in my hand, which I don't like. But the product is good and the color is good, and I want to get some use out of it before I let it go. And I just want to decide if this loose format for blush is something I'm interested in having in my collection or not. But I'm between these two, I'm definitely going to probably keep this one just because the color works much better on me than this. This is a bit much, I would say, a bit too pinky cheeked. So may let go of that pretty soon. Let's finish up the cheek product story. These are the new releases from Burt's Bees. It's all a glow line. And I am going to do a separate review on them, so I won't stop and discuss them this time around right now. But this is a bronzer stick in Bronze Splash 1610. All of them are sheer moisturizing formulas. Spoiler alert, these are actually pretty great, but only if you like the Haloscope / RMS Beauty highlighter and cream product sort of thing. Then we have lip and cheek stick in Lilac Lagoon. Really good product, works well on lips because this is a very moisturizing formula. If say the Nude Sticks one is pretty matte, so it doesn't wear well on lips, these are very moisturizing, so they will wear very well on lips. But if you have oily skin, it's probably not going to work out for cheek wear for you. But if you do have normal to dry skin, I think it'll be just fine. And then we have highlighter, illuminator, opal mist. All of these I'll show you later. Wait for the review, it's coming up. Brows. I have 3 products for brows. I've brought this Benefit Gimme Brow in the color 1. This guy is good. It has fibers in it and it volumizes brows. It's sort of like one of the first companies to come up with this kind of a product. It's a tiny mini, so this is probably not going to last me the entire 3 months. So I brought an alternative, and this is a Nude by Nature Precision Brow Mascara in 02 Brown. Also has a tiny little brush, but this one is a little more hold, a little more tint, and no fibers. So this is good for, I've been using it for brushing my little hairs in my brows up to keep them sort of spiky upwards. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll show you sometime when with the Get Ready With Me what I mean. I've been really into that brushed up brow look. I'm not grooming them into like an arc at this point, because before I would just sort of brush through to groom them, to lay them down in a pretty way. Now I'm just sort of messily brushing them up and getting the gel to hold them in a spikier, pricklier manner, and I've been really enjoying that look. It looks a bit more grungy and cool with like a smudgy eye. And then we have this brow pencil, and this is Dior Show Brow Styler in the color 001 Universal Brown. I've been faithful to this product for a long time. I have one lost backup, except for this one. There's not a ton of product left. It doesn't come with a ton of product, but it's one of the first to its class when initially micro pencils for brows really appeared, and it has a nice spoolie on the back that works very well. It's good quality spoolie. I like this, but it's not as innovative as it once was when it was initially released. It was such a favorite for me. I used it for years, and I repurchased so many of them, maybe like 10, like a lot of them. But at this point, there isn't anything special any longer about this kind of a stiff micro pencil for brows with a spoolie. Everybody's making them nowadays, and I would really like to find an equivalent in cleaner beauty, so probably not going to repurchase. My goodness, we have a lot here. I brought 2 palettes that are small and one that is a rather big palette. Let's go with the from neutral to more colorful. I brought this Guerlain palette, a 5 couleurs, in the color 06 Bois des Indes. This is from their permanent line, so if you're interested, this is kind of like Guerlain's super luxury, super beautiful answer to Naked One from Urban Decay, but better. The mini ones, you know? I don't own the first little Naked Tiny Mini anymore, but I do still have that. These are stiffer shadows. They wear beautifully. They're gently pigmented in a way that is buildable but not obnoxious. And it has a color over here that is supposed to be a liner, but I use it for a liner and a brow color if I want a powder brow shadow, because the color works out very well for me. And it has just this selection of neutrals, so if I want to reach for neutrals or to dilute the look in some way, this is the way to go. That's my neutral pick. And then I have an interesting colorful pick that I'm kind of considering putting in my project pan, and this is Chanel Les Quatre Ombres in the color 232 Tissé Vénitien. I've been using them steadily. Some of them are getting nice and flat. These are domed baked shimmer shadows from Chanel. I love the formula of these. I'm not going to purchase any more of these because I am transitioning to cleaner brands, and I've seen the benefits of using similar shades in a variety of brands. Chanel is no longer as sort of special with their micronized shimmer shades like this one. There are lots of companies that produce a similar look in their eyeshadows, so you know, this is not as essential to me as it was when it initially released. I love the colorway, I love the textures, and I still do. I still love them enough to consider putting that into my project pan. I think you need to be super status favorite for sure to make it into my project pan, so I don't just include any product, I think about them. And this is the one I'm considering right now. The colors are beautiful, and I think very versatile for spring, especially. I had a bit of a color change for my hair, and I think that colorway really will work very well with that color hair. So definitely happy that I brought that. Another thing I brought is a palette to play with. This is a recent purchase. This is Cargo Namaste in India. I'm not usually a fan of Cargo shadows in this format. I've swatched many of them and none of them impressed me so much that I purchased one. This one impressed me. First of all, look at that crazy colorway and how much these teals, greens are going to complement my Chanel shadows. So I'm thinking, you know, just go nuts and just go for this whole green taupe craze. And this has a fair amount of neutral shades that I could pull for, a good amount of shimmers. The formula of this, no joke, really reminds me of the Anastasia formula, and the good Anastasia formula, not the crappy Anastasia formula. We all know that happened. But these are nice and buttery and ultra pigmented, and really, if this was presented to me without packaging the formula, I would say, oh, this is probably Anastasia shadows. It isn't. It's Cargo. It has a decent brush to go with it as well, so I am using it. It has like a little smudger and an application slash shading side. They're fine. The brushes in these are okay, but they're not the best. But the colors, that really got me. I think, holy crap, I want colors. I want these colors in a nice slight wash or as a liner. You know, something subtle, but I like that happy, colorful thing for the spring. Just a little touch, not too much, just a little bit. Okay, the other two eye products that I have here are a liner and a cream shadow. The only cream shadow that I have with me is Laura Mercier Amethyst Caviar Stick Eye Color. And it is in my project pan, and I don't have a lot left, so I don't anticipate this lasting very, very long. I am very happy with this taupey, grungy purple that I can just smudge all over my lid, and it's a one and done. Easy, easy peasy. And then I have a Bobbi Brown long wear gel eyeliner in patina ink in 25, and it looks dark, but it's not as dark as it looks. The pigmentation of liners I'm a stickler for. I don't really care for super pigmented products in general, but liners, I'd like for liners to have pigmentation. That's a product that makes sense to have a ton of pigmentation. I'm a little bit put off by the formula of this. I've been really trying to use it, but I may or may not let go of this after I go back. I might not want to use it anymore, so I might pass that on to somebody else. Lips. Whew. I have one lipstick from Makeup Forever, and this is a little baby size. C211 is the color, as far as I understand. And it's this mauve. Nothing super special. I think it's pretty good, but upon using that up, I'm not going to repurchase. I don't think it's anything special at all. Then I have two MAC lipsticks. I've pulled these from my collection to sort of try and get through some. I have Rebel, which is very difficult for me to wear down the bullet because, well, it's pigmented. It doesn't require a lot. I usually use it as a blotting lipstick, so I sort of apply a small amount and then rub it in with my fingertips so you get this stained lip look. So this is good for that, and it shears out into a pretty bright color, so it is good for spring as well. I don't think I will get through it, and I think after this season is over, I might declutter that lipstick as well. And then we have Patisserie, which used to be my holy grail. As you can see, 2/3 of lipstick is left. I've used up about 1/3 of it, and I think I can get through that, but I won't repurchase because I have better options from Cleaner Beauty at this point. I have 3 products from Bite. One of them is a lip primer, which I don't think does anything, so this is on a chopping block as well because I've been using this stuff already for about 3 to 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So, you know, I've formed some opinions already. So this Bite Beauty Line and Define Lip Primer, I don't think does much. This is definitely on the chopping block, okay? This one is not on the chopping block because it's a 3rd time repurchase for me. I've taken with me the Bite Beauty Matte Cream Lip Crayon in Glacé. I've done a project pan last year. This was in it. I used up the entire thing of it, and then the year before as well. I love this matte cream pencil. And then we have Bite Beauty Matte Cream Lip Crayon in Maraschino. And this is my bright red. So I usually have some kind of a bright red going, and this one is so close to being done. I'm probably not going to have it come back with me either because I'm probably going to use it up. And I have 2 tinted lip balms, which is what I wear a lot, and 1 purse product. In my purse, there's Tom Ford and Addison. That's also in my project pan, but that's over there in my bag. I have 2 tinted lip balms, which I love, and I can mix easily. I have a warm color and a very cool color. The cool color is by Terry Baume de Rose in 5 Fig Fiction. I'll show you. I wore it all winter, so I've really been enjoying this color a lot. The texture of these is glorious, and it shears out very beautifully on the lips. This one is Baume de Rose in 6 Toffee Cream. Slightly less used because I prefer cooler tones in my makeup. But the idea is that you can, having 2 shades like that, you can really create a custom shade of any sort of warmth that you might enjoy. These are beautiful. I'm not sure if they're worth the money though. They're very, very good, but they're so pricey that my teeth hurt. I don't think I'll repurchase just because of the price. The texture of the product is flawless. It is. Then I have two mascaras that I'm using right now. Both are on the cleaner side of the spectrum. We have Physicians Formula Lash Mixologist, and it has the length and the volume side. Haven't formed a solid opinion about that one quite yet. It's on me today. And also Bare Minerals Lash Domination Volumizing Mascara. This one has the Petite Precision brush, so the tiny brush, which I enjoy, but I haven't really formed a very solid opinion about this one either. So to be continued with regards to those. Whew, I'm feeling exhausted after filming these. This is the makeup that I've taken with me for a 3-month work sort of stay in a different town. And that's kind of what I'm playing with. I already noticed after a few weeks of use that I have a few things here that I could potentially declutter once I'm back, which is going to be obviously the lip primer, because I'm not sure what I'm doing with it. It's really not doing anything, much of anything. Then we have the Dior blush that I think is probably going to go. Maybe this Burt's Bees concealer because the quality is quite so-so. And maybe the gel eyeliner, just because I'm not really happy with its performance. It stays fine, but it's not this dark, deep, beautiful brown that I want. It applies a little bit more sheer than that. And I still want definition. I want soft definition with a brown color, but this is just a little too... it doesn't look as if you're defining your eyes all that much. So that's it for today. Leave me down below if you want reviews or any specifics on anything in particular, and I can do that separately. But that was a really, really long video, so I'm gonna go and sleep now. That's it for today. See you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Good luck. Wishing you all the best. Bye.